Roku 55-inch TV, a $248 value. Fourth, breast cancer theme die-cast NASCAR and gas card. That's a $90 value. Fifth place, Steel Magnolias gift card, $50 value. Sixth place, Fishing Creek gift basket. Drawing will be held at the Boyd GM on October 28th at 2 p.m. You do not have to be present to win. Again, 100% of all ticket sales and proceeds go to Pretty in Pink Foundation in Raleigh, North Carolina. For more information, you can contact 919-693-2520 for all purchases or questions. Pretty in Pink Foundation, sponsored by everyone at Oliver's Towing. Towing for a Cure, in memory of Denise Ellis, Sandra Newton, along with all who have lost their battle, and in honor of all living survivors. They are selling t-shirts and bracelets. T-shirts are starting at $12, depending on size, and bracelets are only $3 each. Towing for a Cure, Pretty in Pink Foundation, sponsored by everyone in Oliver's Towing. More information, 919-693-2520.
And welcome to the Sunday Sit Down here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Nextdoor Radio app. My name is Trey Snodd. If you missed this live programming, this will be up on our website immediately following this program here on nextdoorradio.com under the podcast section. Everything we've ever done is sitting right there. We are at the Granville County Sheriff's Office as Sheriff Robert Fountain. Once again, how are you, sir?
Living the dream, as they say in Granville County, living the dream. I am well. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic, as we like to say. We are living the dream here in Granville County. I love it. Again, my name is Trey Stein on behalf of Nextdoor Radio. We appreciate all those who have submitted questions, and we promise you every single one of these questions that we did receive will be asked here this evening. All right, my friend, you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, you know, as we always start off, I always have to first give honor to God, to my team, for putting us in the position that we're in now. To my family, my staff, I appreciate you. I appreciate the work that you do. I appreciate the fact that you don't listen to a lot of the commentary that is not as pleasing as one would imagine it should be. Because every day, 24 hours a day, the citizens of Granville County are serviced by the deputies, men and women, who put on a badge and a gun and get in a vehicle. They will risk their lives to protect this community. And sometimes it's a little disheartening to see that people don't understand the sacrifice they make when they're away from their families, the stress that it causes sometimes by some of the commentary. When people always say they support the thin blue line, but yet you have all these things that you're trying to disrupt and destroy that line. It's already stretched thin enough. That's why it's called thin. So when you have individuals that continuously go after the people in personal matters, following them to their homes, it's a little disheartening. But they still do what they do. They still put that uniform on. They still get in those vehicles. They still protect and serve the communities. And they still are focused and targeted from people who don't want to see this administration succeed. So we're 7 months in. And with 7 months in, we've done a lot. And a lot of the people that have put this thing together have not shown their appreciation to the men and women that they serve. You know, we have a lot of people that do. And I don't, somebody asked me the other day, why do you have so many haters? And I told them we don't. We don't have haters. We've got people that want to share their opinion and are sometimes looking for attention themselves. They're not haters. They just encourage us to continue to try to do the right thing to get better and to learn from the things that they go through. And we all learn. People have to understand, no one is perfect. We serve a perfect God, but no one is perfect. No administration has ever been perfect. I think we forget that sometimes. What? We move forward, that's the way we always look at things. And I tell my staff now, because I've been listening to some things to encourage you, that we fall forward. We don't fall back. We avoid those pitfalls, but we fall forward into the next best thing for our community. So that's where we are. And we're going to do a lot more. We're going to be more sound. We're going to be more proficient. And we're going to be better staff than ever once we understand how we move. Because leadership is kingdom building. And that's where we are. I'm ready.
There you go. Again, this is the Sunday Sit Down with Sheriff Robert Fountain here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Nextdoor Radio app, and across all social media outlets. Our first question here this evening: what made you turn the comment section back on the GCSO Facebook page and unblock certain people?
I'm going to start with the second part of the question first. And the question is, one, why did I turn them off? So, because of racial commentary attached to some comments that I saw, I turned them off so I could seek legal counsel to make sure what I did was consistent with the laws. So I turned them off this individual. I blocked one individual approximately 24 hours. And after consultation with my team and the county attorney, we turned all the comments back on. We put our comments to them. We turned the comments off completely for everyone to make an informational page. But after we worked, we started getting our footing, and because people started asking me, hey, Sheriff, can we get them back on in a correct professional way, we said this. We're still going to have an informational page, however, we still need to hear from the citizens. Now, if it becomes some more racial issues and people making those comments, then I will start looking at it again if I'm going to leave them on or shut them off. If people are professional and ask questions that are relevant, ask questions that are thorough and accurate, then we will leave them on. But the first time somebody calls me a name that's racial in nature, I can tell you what's about to happen. And it's not anything that I'm going to shrink away from. It is what it is. We're going to be servicing this community, and we ask for the same respect that we can give to this office.
Fantastic. You spoke about transparency a lot during your campaign. It looks like you were doing the complete opposite since becoming sheriff. Why is everything such a secret, not only to the public, but to most staff?
Actually, things are not a secret, so I don't know where people get it from. The only thing that we keep secret are confidential investigations and personnel actions. So personnel actions, I don't disclose to anyone. I don't disclose personnel actions to the HR department, because the office of sheriff does not have to have a requirement to share those disciplinary or personnel actions with anyone. So if we have sensitive investigations, internal investigations, people don't know. However, we have people coming here every day, making appointments to sit with me. And if I'm not busy, if they show up, I still will meet with them. My staff and I meet at least once or twice a week from the bottom up as open door access to me. And some people think that because I see them walk down the hall and the door is open, I'll just yell at them, hey, come in, sit down and talk to me. I do that with my staff, I do it with the administration staff, everybody has access to me. So the public, if you want to ask me something, don't do it on social media, it's not going to respond to it. Come see me, talk to me, and ask relevant questions that pertain to the safety and security of this organization. So things that, like, have I ever been convicted of a felony in the state of Virginia that I expunged? I don't know if that's one of your questions, but I saw. I've never been convicted or charged with a felony in Virginia or anyone else, anywhere else. So to understand how you have to run for the office of sheriff, you go through an extensive background investigation, because some people who have been in this position were convicted of felonies and other counties. So they were trying to make sure that your extensive background, DCI checks, FBI checks, your fingerprints are ran to see even if it was expunged, it's found out. So I've never been convicted of a felony in Virginia or anywhere else. So with your question, we don't keep anything secret unless it's sensitive in nature, ongoing investigations and personnel matters. Anything else, all you have to do is come and ask. Or we have people sending Freedom of Information requests, we're putting an actual Freedom of Information request on our website. So if you want to know something, you can go to our website. As soon as Terry Hopwood finishes it, uploads it to our website, you can have a Freedom of Information request sent there. That information goes to the county attorney. We fill it out with the relevant answers, things that I can share. The county attorney will approve those things, and we'll send it back to you. So it's a process. I'm not going to tell you everything that goes on every day. That's not the way this works. So that's just the nature of the beast in the office that I own.
If you're just tuning in, you're tuned into the Sunday Sit Down with Sheriff Robert Fountain. My name is Trace Nine on behalf of Next Door Radio. Our next question is really a two-part question. During the campaign, one of your selling points was a focus on creating a diverse office. It is being perceived you are creating a minority-based office, starting with administration leadership, office support, chaplain services to jail personnel. This looks like the good old boy system that you said plagued the office. Is this what you meant by creating a diverse office?
You know, the funny thing is this, and it's not actually funny. When I took office, or before I took office, let's talk about the administration and admin staff. You had 10 people in place with only 2 people of color in the whole process, right? So when you start talking about my command staff, you had one person of color in the command staff ranks in his agency. So you had no women in leadership in the jail or on patrol. So when we said we were looking at getting rid of misogynistic culture, that's what we did. We hired people that are competent, qualified, and can pass those background checks and all the things that require them. Our staff is more qualified now. My leadership team is more qualified than ever. It's more diverse than ever. Our ranks are filled with Black, white, Hispanic, Latino, more diverse than ever. And if you look at it, my administration staff, there are 5 white women and 5 black women. So I don't know where people get their numbers from, but if they come and see and stop guessing or taking these innuendos and running with them to get some attention, then they will see that what the truth really is. So we have a diverse culture. So if you look at a picture, we did a parade yesterday for a young man who just got out of Duke Hospital, right? Children's Hospital. If you look at that picture, it shows you diversity. It shows you black, white, it shows you Hispanic, Latino. It shows you what we look like. We look like Granville County. So if that's the problem, that's not my problem. We hire competent and qualified people based on who applies. If people don't want to work for me because of the color of my skin, I can't make them apply. We hire who applies and we go through the processes to make sure we're straight. HR goes through the process with us. FMRT, all background investigations are clean. That's how we hire the people. Not on promises, not on anything else. We hire competent, qualified people. That's all.
And again, I believe you answered this in that statement, but the next question was, and if you are not receiving a diverse pool of applicants, why not? But I believe you've already answered that question. Next, again, if you're just tuning in, we are asking and answering the questions that were submitted for this Sunday sit-down here this evening. I know there has been at least 2 misfires of guns since you have taken office. My question about one you misfired within the armory. I was told you almost shot an SRO, which caused her to leave and go to a neighboring department. What caused the misfire?
And I did this prior to this conversation. I took Trey in the armory. One, and SRO was not an armory at the time. So Trey can attest to the fact that, I'll back up. We had a new, weapons, I think about 6 or 7 new weapons coming in. And we had to test fire. One kept having a problem jamming, not being able to extract the rounds. So we went through the test firing, we took the weapon to the armory. The only people in the armory at that time was myself and John Hardy, who was standing behind me. And SRO was outside the door, 12 feet from where I was standing. So when I dropped the mag, tried to distract the round. It slammed forward, going into a center block wall about 18 inches in front of me, not in any direction of anybody. And oh, by the way, that officer, deputy, was already in the hiring process for another agency. So that didn't make them go anywhere. It wasn't fired at anyone. We set the weapon and had an armored lock on. We had an armor, look at the weapon, cycled it, checked everything, put it and sent it back, got it back, and now it's functioning properly. That was it. The other incident, one of our deputies is still under investigation, so I cannot comment on that, but it was nothing that was nefarious. Again, accidents happen, and that's all.
Is it true your chief deputy has their BLET suspended since 2016 from Henderson PD? If so, for what and why would you hire him?
First of all, the chief deputy is Mr. Kevin Buster. And Mr. Buster, when he left Henderson PD, he went to work for the State Department. He was in Kosovo and Afghanistan working for our country for over 3 years. Since he was in Afghanistan and Kosovo, he did not have anyone maintain his certification. Upon his return, he went back to Henderson PD as an administrator. Then he went to probation and parole after he got his master's degree. And then he went on to work at the Governor's Highway Safety Program, and now he's the regional coordinator for Region 4, the Governor's Highway Safety Program, which covers 12 different counties. He starts BLET August the 2nd, and he will finish it in November and be back as the chief deputy and sworn and certified. I hired him, he's good at what he does. Period.
There you go. And kind of go back real quick regarding the misfire. One of the questions was, did you ever misfire your weapon during that?
No, that weapon was a part of the news that we got in. The news we got in, it wasn't mine. I was in the truck, locking the blocks. So it wasn't mine.
Again, this is Sunday Sit Down here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, the mobile app, and all social media platforms. We are answering and asking questions that were submitted for this program here this evening. And it kind of piggyback on the BLET suspended since 2016 question. I heard that the same deputies may not pass BLET or get certified. Is it true you're going to just make them admin staff with no gun or badge? We need a sheriff office that has more deputies than clerical staff.
Again, misinformation, because I can't control who passes BLET. I control the number of positions that I have for administration. I'm allotted 10 positions in admin people. So we have a proficiency and competency in reading test that they have to go through initially. So before they go to BLET, they take a written comprehension test to see if they're going to even pass BLET. If they do not pass BLET after the first 10, if I have vacancies in the detention center, we will then transfer them to the custody side of the house if we're not fully staffed. So I don't know who's going to pass BLET because no one knows until you go, and no one knows until you take the state exam. No one knows until you pass the COPAD test. So for people to think that somebody's not going to pass or pass, if they have a crystal ball, hey, send me something. If you've got the lottery numbers for the weekend, if you know that already, send it to me. I'm sorry.
Again, the Sunday Sit Down here. That's right, Evan. Again, the Sunday Sit Down here on Nextdoor Radio. Did you order your deputies via telephone call to pull over an off-duty deputy, ODD, on I-85 for no reason, then demand the ODD to go to the rest area and then to the sheriff's office to talk with you? This seems like abuse of power.
Again, since my part of the investigation is over, I will speak to it. A Nash County deputy came over here to do something with his sister, who was off duty. When he was there, he didn't identify himself, so he wouldn't restrain just like everybody else did until we figured out who's who. Once I figured out that he was here and I didn't know anything about it, I called his sheriff in Nash County. His sheriff, once the incident was over, told me to let his deputy know that he needs to see his captain the next morning. 10 minutes after I left the scene, and this young man was on his way to wherever he was going, the sheriff called me back. He said, "Do you have my deputy still in your sights?" I said, "No, I think he's on 85, heading towards Vance County to Nash." He said, "Stop." So the sheriff, his sheriff, said, "Stop his deputy and tell him to report to Granville County Sheriff's Office." So I informed my deputies to stop that individual, pull him over to a safe place, which they stopped him and told him to go to the rest area. They said, "You need to report to the sheriff's office because your captain will be at Granville County Sheriff's Office in the next 20 minutes. So the captain from Nash Sheriff's Office, Nash County Sheriff's Office, was here in about 20 to 25 minutes. So yeah, we stopped him based on the sheriff. There's 100 of us in the state. So if a sheriff tells me to stop these people and tell them to come to my office, you best believe I'm gonna do it. And that's what we did. We shook hands, learned an experience, but somebody tried to twist it into something bigger than what it was, and that's gonna be detriment not to me. Because we did what a sheriff in this county, another county asked us to do. That's what I did. My deputies was clean on them. So, it is what it is.
There you go. Next questions that we have. Are you making it mandatory for folks to work exhausting hours and days because you cannot retain staff? I heard 2 people who recently became certified this year under the office left for Butner and Henderson.
We're not making them, they're actually volunteering. There are 72 sworn positions in the Granville County Sheriff's Office. Currently, I have 66. And of the 66, only 12 are not certified. I have 6 that are going to the LET on August the 7th. The others will go in January. So, no, we're not making them mandatory overtime. I think these people love what they do, protecting and serving this community. And those are the reasons they ask if we work, sir. And I'm like, yes. If it means more boots on the ground, we are better staffed, and our people are committed to doing what they need to. They have vacation, they have their off times, and they don't complain about the hours they work. We have staff that have 410s, which are our investigators, work 410s, which they work Monday through Thursday one week, they may work Tuesday through Friday, which they wanted to do. We have 2 deputies that have a swing shift for floaters, who work from 1 to 1. Then we have supervisors who work 2 to 2. And then we probably have about 4 to 5 deputies on every shift now working until they go to BLET. Then we will go to having 4 per shift, plus a lieutenant, plus the swing guy. So we're better staffed than we were, I got it.
There you go. Again, Sunday sit down with Sheriff Robert Fallon joins us here on Next Door Radio. In May, you were approved by the county commissioners for $41,000 to purchase a germicidal UV light for the jail. Was this equipment purchased yet?
Yes, and it was a grant fund from the Department of Health and Human Services for $40,000 for a UV lighting system. And actually, John Hardy in 2022 requested the purchase of this, and it didn't get brought to the board until, I think, May of 2022. And the UV system is designed, it was a COVID relief fund because it destroys bacteria, COVID-19 virus, and those types of things. So somebody, I think, said it was a mold problem in the jail, which is, again, not true. And yes, the UV lighting system, we use it with test running with our medical staff to make sure we're doing the right way. Source funding systems, I will get that to you. I researched it today. And it was purchased through grant funding through DHHS. The initial purchase of $40,000 came from us, and then DHHS refunded us because it was grant funding through them. So yes, that happened, and the equipment is there. We also bought the Tech 84 body scanner, which goes into usage on Monday, because we just got our radiation badges. That cost us $120,000, $40,000 of that was grant funded money. But again, those things were asked and requested before I got here. Now we're putting them to utilization since I've got here.
There you go. And the next part of that question, what is the make and model so we can verify the cost?
I'll send it to you, Trey. I read a lot today, so I'll send it to you. I think it's command source funding, but it's called a UVC lighting system. And I'll send you that information, or I'll put it out there on social media so people can see the system. And I'll probably put some pictures out there so they'll see how it actually works. And if they want pictures of the Tech 84 body scanner, we can put that out there for them as well. And we finished all the required training for the users, end users for the Tech 84. We're only going to have 9 people run that system, 2 per shift, and the jail administrator.
Perfect.
2 questions. I think they asked the jail administrator 1, but the rest of those things are from Paytel, and it's just a script that they use to show people what they're doing. So they're not reinventing the wheel about what their company does. So those things are consistently put out there, almost like just a script. And the same thing on July 4th. When you start talking about fireworks, the safety information is shared from different sheriffs to different sheriffs and different police departments about safety. So you may change a couple of words, but the format is pretty much the same when we start sharing information like that. You may change the heading, just like when people write policies and people understand. Policy is not something that you're going to think of. You're going to get policies from other agencies. You're going to change names, change things to fit your agency. And that's what we get. So we'll get a blanket template of what they want to say and what they should give us. And then we just add some stuff to it and we keep it going. We don't have time to sit there and try to think of something that's already been in place that works. So if you have something that works and it's your agency, then you just put the information out there. It's not about plagiarism. It's about call Paytel. They produced it. They sent it to us. We've submitted it. If you want to talk about fireworks, I'm sure every person has seen the same verbiage somewhere. It's just a different heading.
Sunday sit down here on Next Door Radio, Sheriff Robert Fountain. We are asking questions that have been submitted for this program here this evening. The next question we received: the checkpoints done recently on July 4th weekend and during the ballpark event off Cornwall Road. Were these target checkpoints? And I'll go ahead and ask you the next part of that here. And was policy properly followed?
The latter part of the question, yes. Because we did it in compliance with the law. And because of the fact we'll use Evans Ballpark first. Evans Ballpark had come to us, well, actually, OPD was listed on their flyer to be providing security at Evans Field for an event. Because of the fact they don't have jurisdiction to do security in the county, there was some miscommunication, and those individuals and I spoke, and I wanted to ensure that we had some presence in that area. So what better way to show people that we're there? I think we spent 45 minutes in that area, but the event lasted 6 hours. Okay? So we were there 45 minutes. They had a 6-hour event. We had 1 complaint. Our deputies went down for a loud noise complaint, spoke to the event planners, let them know what the complaint was, and they left. So no, it was anything that we were trying to shut down somebody's event or do anything nefarious. And then on the southern end, Lawrence Road and Brassfield, the community had asked us to start setting up and being more vigilant and present in that area. So that's part of what we're going to do. Saturation operations, ID checks to make sure that people are safe, to make sure our communities are safe. It was a holiday weekend that we were down there, and unfortunately, we had somebody run from the checkpoint who was wanted in Durham County, who wrecked a vehicle, and now has more warrants, and I think Durham may have picked him up, and because he sustained some injuries, nothing life-threatening. I think he's out now, and we're going to serve our warrants on him soon as well.
Next question we received: why has there been so many employee automobile accidents since you have taken office? Are staff trained on patrolling to include defensive driving, and who is training them?
They will get training through their field training officers who go through a field training certification process, and they will also get training as they go through BLET. But when you have 537 square miles or 26 square miles, and you have 6 to 8 deputies working or driving 300 miles per day per car, then the law of averages is that you're probably going to have some accidents somewhere in there. But yet have I seen anybody ask me how my staff was, but they asked me how a car got wrecked, right? So my staff had 1 injury, which was she was shaken up, but the vehicles they were driving, prioritized the vehicles because we're going to a fleet management system to where the younger drivers drive a little older vehicle that's still safe, but we don't want them to take a $60,000 or $70,000 brand new vehicle out there as well. So we're basically giving them the opportunity to, once they go through the FTO program, which is anywhere from, depending on how they progress, anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks. And they will be with somebody for 6 to 12 weeks, and then they'll get in the car by themselves. So you're gonna have accidents. It's the law of averages. But I would ask that the community, ask how my deputies are doing versus just throwing it out there that they had a wreck. Because it's just a car. I care about their lives.
Next question, that and to piggyback off the one we just asked as well. I have heard the same deputy has misused a county vehicle many times, such as taking the vehicle on out-of-state vacations, charging tolls to the county, and using the vehicle at her leisure to do laundry. This looks like staff does not have respect for the sheriff and his leadership. Why are you letting people misuse county property?
Again, another false statement. So if people don't understand the background investigations and how they work, and this comes from the county, but the county, this is where some of this information is being leaked from. So we had 2 instances where we had a deputy had to go to Virginia because the state of New Jersey, our APHIS system or fingerprints don't connect with New Jersey. The closest place we could get a background investigation done was in Virginia. I think it was Virginia Beach or Suffolk, somewhere in there, or Charleston, South Carolina. I chose to let my background investigator go to Virginia to get the fingerprints done for this deputy and come back. So if you're on, that's 1. 2, if you're on 540, you're gonna go through those on 540 in the performance of your duties. None of my deputies have taken any vehicle on vacation anywhere. The one deputy that did have an incident and misused a vehicle, personnel action was taken, and that's the end of it.
Get a Sunday sit down here on Next Door Radio. All questions that we are asking here today has been submitted by way of our email at contact@nextdoorradio.com. I saw a Granville County deputy enter a county vehicle in Wake Forest on Rogers Road on Friday, July 14th at 8 p.m. Are they allowed to use county vehicles for personal use? I have pictures.
Well, the pictures were shared because someone followed my deputy for 43 minutes from Wake Forest, where she was acting and doing what she was supposed to do in preparation to go to BOT. So if she worked late, then had to go to Lawman's and had any other things that she needed to pick up to go to school on August the 2nd, she had my approval and authority to do so. And then for someone to follow an individual from Raleigh to Warren for 43 minutes, taking pictures, do you understand the gravity of the threat that you're putting my deputies in? Because everybody don't love law enforcement. And for somebody to take pictures of this young lady, jeopardizes her safety and her children's safety, kind of rubbed me a little bit on that. I don't think it's fair to these deputies or any law enforcement officer to somebody to take pictures of their home. I understand that it's in public view, but it could be a situation sometimes that you're putting people in jeopardy. Because if you pull somebody over and they call somebody and you're following them and you're taking pictures of them, that's a threat to the staff member in their minds. So that deputy called me crying because she was afraid that something might happen to her or her children. So understand that I'm taking these things very serious. And these people who are putting this information out about people's mental health, people's addresses, it's not something we should do as a community. If you think you have a suggestion or an idea of how this should work, put in an application or come see. If you have a question, have an answer or solution to how we can get better, not undermine the agency we're trying to serve and protect you. That's just
Yeah, Sunday sit down here on Next Door Radio. All questions being asked are submitted or have been submitted by way of our email at contact@nextdoorradio.com. This video will be up on our website immediately following this if you missed any part of the program this evening. Why do so many people have the luxury of having a take-home vehicle such as an office, jail, administrative support staff?
because we have this thing called a 24-hour response team, which includes clerical staff as well, includes our chaplain. Our chaplain has to take on vehicle. Granville County has never had a paid chaplain, right? So what I did was did an evaluation of positions to where we could utilize existing positions to better serve inmate population and our community and our deputies. So we hired a chaplain that has 24-hour access that we need her. She will show up. We had we had a suicide and a shooting that she responded to late one night, early one morning. And then my jail administrator has a 24-hour on-call. His 2 captains have 24-hour on-call, and he has 2 sergeants that are part of the jail response team. So those have 24 hours responses to me, and that's why they have take-home vehicles. Our admin staff, we only have 1 that has a take-home vehicle. And she's the manager because, again, if I need something like tonight, she's here up front. She's here 24 hours a day. If I need her, I can pick the phone and call her. So she has the autonomy to take on her vehicle because that's what I need and require from this office. Not to put a burden on some of my staff coming up here 2 or 3 times a day on their gas to serve the community. And that's the only ones that have take-home vehicles.
Next question. While I-85 in Granville County is a major hub for drug trafficking, studies show most of these drugs do not make it into our county. Why are you focusing on an interdiction team for I-85 when something needs to be done with the drug dealing in the county?
One, I don't go into Pat Ford. I don't go into Chief Champion. I don't go into Chief Willis's areas unannounced to conduct drug operations. 2, we have not had a focus on an interdiction unit. We are focused on crime suppression units, not interdiction. So because we are looking at doing things differently, it may be times that we do have an interdiction or suppression operation throughout the entire county, not just 85. Here's a smart thing that drug dealers do. They know we patrol 85. So they'll use 96, 15, US 1, and other corridors to bring in drugs into our communities. So we're talking 158, when you're talking through Person County, you're talking through Stovall, they're going to come down the arteries leading into our county, not just on 85. So again, we have to understand the complexities of this whole process of how things work. So we've hired, out of my special operations unit, everybody has at least five years experience except 1. And that individual is going to be a crime scene investigator and evidence technician. Everybody else is highly trained, highly capable, and effective. And in our criminal investigative unit, the experience ranges anywhere from 10 years to over 20 years. So we have a different way of doing things. Because we didn't do it the way somebody else did it, doesn't mean it's doing wrong. It means we're doing it different. And change is inevitable, so you have to change the corrupt and criminal content and how they do business. Because the same thing, doing it over and over again, expecting a different end result, is truly insanity by Albert Einstein. I'm stopping.
Again, here on the Sunday Sit Down, Sheriff Robert Fountain. My name is Trace Knight on behalf of Next Door Radio. Tune in by way of our nextdoorradio.com, our mobile app, or all of our social media outlets. We appreciate you tuning in here this evening. Next question we received. Many of us have lost loved ones because of drug addiction. Do you plan on persuading the DA to charge drug dealers with death by distribution? And do you have a drug unit that is experienced enough with drug investigations to hold up in the court?
Both answers are yes.
Okay. There you go. All right. Next question. Why are you opening the Main Street door at the courthouse, which will take extra sheriff staff to man, when response times to incidents, are dangerously long, such as over 25 minutes for a DV call in Creedmoor and over 20 minutes for a gun call in Stovall?
Again, the response times, I'm not aware of those times happening since we've got our patrol staffs where they are. Again, I don't go into any jurisdiction just because I'm the sheriff unannounced or any chief, and that's just the way things are. So you have to balance out where that call came from, whose jurisdiction it is. Now, with our staffing and what we're doing, is changing. So that's where I am with the response times. So the opening of the front corridor of the courthouse is because that's what the community asked me to do. And that's what I'm doing it for. And because we're looking at grant funding, we will not need to increase the staffing patterns at the courthouse. The plan is, and I met with the fire marshal this week to look at a new design. We're going to utilize 2 of the staff to be up front at the main entrance. 1 staff will stay where the other one is so that it doesn't increase the staffing pattern. We'll have a state-of-the-art system to scan in people to get in the courthouse and get out of the rain faster. Far be it, it's been too long for we have our residents standing in the rain, standing in the heat, when we got deputies and court staff that can let people in and put them in courtrooms. So that's what we're going to do it for. There is the aesthetics of a historic courthouse. So when I got elected and people asked me would I open it, we opened it for Senator Bodie swearing in to see what the responses would be. Yancey Washington, the DA and myself, Judge Dunlow, and everyone are sitting together to make this process work. Because we want to service the community, we want to make the courthouse safer, we want to make sure we look at the ADA handicap accessible entrance, and we want to make staff have better access and protect our staff coming and going. So because again, we're going to do it different, doesn't mean we're doing it wrong. So we went to Vance County to see their setup, the staffing pattern which they have for their court intake and exit. We're going to have the same staff, and we will be safer and more beneficial to our communities in the court services. And I'm gonna clear up something too. Domestic violence orders are being served at a pace that is comparable to what has been done past. We're actually getting better in the service of our 50 Bs and Cs and our civil processes. Last month, we were able to, July, we were able to process more concealed carry permits in that month, this month, than ever has been done in 1 month in this community. And I think when people start to look at how processes are done, people think that CCWs or concealed carry permits are just brought here and that's the end of it and it takes us 6 weeks. That's not the case. The whole process still has to go through Raleigh, State Bureau of Investigations. Your fingerprints have to be ran. They're doing 100 counties in this process. So 6 to 8 weeks is what we tell people. If we get them faster, we call and let them know, hey, your stuff is ready to be picked up. But we are not holding any concealed carries based on political affiliation or color, which has been thrown around to, again, gaslight people that we're doing things different. I'm a Second Amendment guy, and I believe in that process. So those people that try to say that's not what we're doing, it's not true.
The Sunday Sit Down here on Nextdoor Radio. If you tune in by way of our website, our mobile app, or any of our social media outlets. If you want a better feed, head over to our website at nextdoorradio.com. You can listen there as well, not just video, but audio as well. The next question we received, I heard the office atmosphere is a very hostile and that you have set up recording devices in the office to eavesdrop and catch your staff doing something wrong. Is this true?
No, I don't have the time. So every camera system that has been here is the same ones that was here before I got here. We have relationship building things every month. We've been having cookouts, Cinco de Mayo, every month. We do things to better serve our community as well as our staff. So those things, and people got to understand something, right? You hire a bunch of staff that don't know each other. Of course there's going to be a little tension because you have to learn that individual. You have to learn and how their lines and boundaries are. So as you learn those things and become a cohesive unit, things change and get better. But, and I tell my staff, and I told them Friday, if people don't want to be here, you can always leave. Don't jeopardize your stake in the game and the food on your table to get involved in politics, because at the end of the day, We're here to serve. We're in a service-oriented business, from serving papers to protecting the community to answering that front door. So our staff, if you come in, you're welcomed in. And sometimes Ms. Ashton will tell you, I see the window open, I'll walk up front and be like, welcome to the Granville County Sheriff's Office, man, help me serve man. And we have a welcoming, inviting culture. There are going to always be people who try to say that things aren't as happy or jovial as we think they are. But I promise you, anybody that walks in this building will have equal dignity and respect from me, and I demand it from everyone else, to treat everyone the same. Our motto is, and this is a true thing, Ed Noon, one of my chiefs, who's white, thank you. His thing is, we all get fed from the same spoon. And that's what we do. We treat everybody the same. That's what we do.
Thank you, sir. Again, these questions that we were asking here this evening on the Sunday sit-down with Sheriff Robert Fountain has been presented to me and submitted in by Saturday morning. Are you swearing in your secretaries and clerical staff to make your numbers appear as though you are fully staffed as you promised you would be by August?
No. So what has happened, and some people say they can't hear the questions. The question that Troy asked was, are we swearing in staff to make our numbers appear inflated? The answer is no. Something that I said I was going to do was open the office on Saturdays, and we would service the customers on Saturdays. So what we are doing is looking at which one of our staff, of all the 10 ladies, who want to be sworn in as special deputies, that does not count towards my staffing pattern. So they will go through the firearms, the background investigations, and be sworn as special deputies, because they will be in this building alone on weekends. From right now it's 10 to 2. So those numbers don't count towards the 72 deputies that we have that are patrolling this community. That is going to be office personnel to protect this building when they're here alone as special deputies. They go through the same firearms training. In fact, we have one qualified in a 94 and a 97 and 90. So those are the things we're doing. And now that person is going through the whole background investigation, going through the special deputies to the State Bureau of Investigation, as well as the Criminal Justice Training and Standards for Sheriff's Association. And then there'll be a special deputy that carry a firearm. They will not be doing anything except the limited duties of what I need to do. And I have that authority to do so. Because again, the sheriff's office has a lot of responsibility and a lot of authority. We just don't try to flex it on people. We try to do the right thing. And that's what our staff will continue to do.
Again, my name is Trey Stein on behalf of Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, the mobile app, and all social media outlets. This is the Sunday Sit-Down with the Sheriff Robert Fountain. You mentioned providing security for Oliver North. I've spoken to him, and he shared that he does not know who you are, did not have security while at Camp Lejeune. Please clarify.
All right, so for someone to go through that length of trouble to talk to somebody like 80 or 90, cool. That was in 1986. So 86 to 92, I was a Marine. So during that time frame, the Naval Investigative Service was the, the oversee the office that was designated to provide security for Colonel Oliver North while he was at Camp Lejeune, while he was going through the trial in D.C. So when Colonel North was at Lejeune, a detachment of the SWAT team guys from the Military Police Headquarters, Marine Corps Base, Camp Lejeune, were shadowing him, making sure he was safe. He did not intimately know any of us. But because of that, we provided security. The Naval Investigative Service was the lead on it. That's just like my deputies out here stop somebody or patrol the neighborhoods. How many of y'all know every one of them? Answer that question, right? That's it.
Yes, sir. Sheriff Robert Fountain joins us here on the Sunday Sit-Down. My name is Trey Stein on behalf of Nextdoor Radio. Is the guy who did the audit on Bryn still contracting with you along with John Hardy?
The actual individual that did the study with, it was 3 different individuals, so I don't know which one they're talking about. Of the 3, only one still works here. We've terminated contracts with the other 2. The only person that's here is Rob Bayless, who's a former DEA agent. And Rob works as a contractor to make sure, one, when people got upset that I took all the money out of this building, and I wanted to make sure a procurement process was structured. So we retained Mr. Bayless, one, for his expertise in drug investigations. That's one. That's why I say I have a qualified unit, because he can help with that. Two, he helps understand the fiscal and responsibility that this office should have. So he and I work together. He works with our drug unit, People's Special Operations Unit, and he also provides advice and counsel with me on internal investigations and those things. John Hardy still works here because he wants to serve his community. So he was a deputy before I got here. I asked him when I was running, if elected, would you stay and help serve his community? So he's a retired U.S. Marshal who has a plethora of experience. He takes care of our quartermaster system, making sure that our inventory, vehicle assets are up to date, and anything that we do, we work as a team. So I am blessed to have Rob Bayless and John Hardy a part of my administration. They sit with me and give me a sound advice, and that's how we make decisions. It's not a fly-by-night operation. We work together to make this thing run, and those two valuable assets will stay with me until we leave in about 15 years.
And then our final question of the night, again, Sheriff Robert Fountain George is here on the Sunday sit-down, beginning at 8 o'clock p.m. If you missed any part of this program, you can head over to our website immediately following this. We'll have this video there under our podcast local talk section. Couple parts to this question. I did not vote for you, but I want you to succeed. But I hope you are not firing or demoting people because they did not vote for you.
Okay. I don't know who voted for me, because that is your private vote. So it doesn't matter. And that's why, I look at it like this. All right, so I ran against Rob Morris, Vance Johnson, and Chris Smoot, right? I offered Chris Smoot a job to stay with the Granville County Sheriff's Office. I offered Clinton, I think his name is Clint Owens. He's one of my members of my cab. I don't look at things as politics or black and white. I look at people want to do the best thing for the county and the Granville County Sheriff's Office. I don't fire people based on party affiliation. I demote people based on their professional conduct and their job performance. Did I demote some folks? I think I've demoted one person, and that's based on a personnel action that I had to deal with. Politics ain't got nothing to do with it. So if you know that individual I demoted, ask them why they got demoted, because I'm not going to say anything about it. So we don't fire people. I don't think I let anybody go that didn't have some issues, and it wasn't issues about politics. It was issues that you did not want to change your way of doing business to go to the direction that I want to lead this agency. And I'm sorry some of them had to leave, because they all had the opportunity to understand the vision. If they couldn't buy into it, then I had to let them go. And I don't think you've had many of them.
Okay, the Sunday sit down here on Next Door Radio. Every question asked tonight was submitted for this program here this evening. That is all the questions I have. We like to finish our these segments, really open up the floor to anything that you might have.
First, again, I have to thank God, my team. I tell people that, my wife, my family. Are we moving in the right direction? That's the question that people should have. And the answer to that is yes. When I was here, when I started, we were 3 deputies on the road, including a supervisor. Now we're better staffed. We are 66 out of 22 right now. I'm 66 out of 72. And I am in the hiring process of more qualified people coming from other agencies, because they're liking what they're hearing about what we got going on over here in Granville County. So I'm in a position now to where I think we're going to be on track to be where I want to be. I want it to be a little better than where we are now. But my staff and our recruiters, our professional training and standards team are doing a bang-up job of trying to get people. Just on the LEO side, we are 6 down, we're 6 short. on patrol, 1 in investigations. On the jail side of the house, we're only 7 short. So we're probably 92% on one side, around 80-something on the other side. And I think that is commendable to my staff, what they're doing. It's not about me. I'm just a face. They're the ones that got to get in these communities and talk to people to get them to come. Because of the history of this organization, we had 3 sheriffs in 4 years. So people have to understand what we were up against. Now we're trending our trajectory to be fully staffed. I have a DEA task force officer position waiting. We have grant funding that's coming in. Our relationships with our local partners are getting stronger and better. I have chief meetings with all the chiefs of police every month now. We had our first one at the beginning of July. We have another one coming up. The relationships we're building are better than they were. And every day, these men and women come in here to do their job, to serve this community. I am proud of each and every one of them. Do we have pitfalls and we got speed bumps and we have to go through? Yes, every organization does. So if you can pick out a community or organization that don't have problems, somebody's telling you a lie. But again, I'd like to thank everyone for watching and coming to this sit down. It's live, who watched it on air. I hope I've cleared up everything. So if you have questions, stay off of social media. Call one of the ladies here. Call my office, set an appointment, so you can stop this whole kind of energy trying to just pick apart. Because you're not going to really pick us apart because we're doing what we're supposed to do. We're not perfect people. We serve a perfect God. Thank you, Trey. Thank you to our community. We love you. I'm tired. I had 3 church services today. So if you need anything, call Granville County Sheriff's Office. Thank you and God bless you.
God bless you, my friend. Again, this is the Sunday Sit Down with Sheriff Robert Fountain. My name is Trace Nod. On behalf of Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, Nextdoor Radio app. We'll see you later.
I wasn't too bad, but
No, that was perfect. Couldn't have scripted it better myself.
y'all are the reason this works. When it was 100, how much you had?
For
Watching it.
oh, so we had right at 100 and something on live, and then Facebook was a little over 200.
Wow.
I had 140 something on this one, and some other ones on the other side.
So about 500 people.
Yeah. So, feedback before we go home. Kathy,